is my Fiend from Mojitos shirt with Colin Farrell from Miami Vice, Michael Mann, that I got off of Etsy. Prized possession. Welcome to Make a Thing. This is the last episode of my talk with Sean Rourke, and I want to thank him hugely for coming by and talking to me for so long, or listening to me ramble for so long about so much stuff, but it was absolutely lovely, and I hope I get to return the favor at some point on his channel, which is called The Vampire's Castle. You can either go to thevampirescastle.com, or you can look it up on YouTube at The Vampire's Castle. He is one of the most inspiring people I've ever met, and if you like vampires, this is your jam. There's interviews with vampire artists, vampire illustrators, vampire creators. Sean loves vampires like nobody's business, and he wants to get you as inspired as he has gotten me about my work. So please go and check that out. And if you haven't seen the rest of this talk tonight, then please go back and look through the playlist to Rourke Thron episode 1 and catch up. It was a real pleasure and an honor to have him around, and I can't wait to talk to him again. Hope you enjoy the rest of the interview, and I'll see you after that.
No, dude, it's a joy to talk to you about this stuff, just because like when we were getting together on the ride with the writers crew, and it was, I don't know, I think and I said I was going to put this in the wrapper, but I still will, but you should look up Sean's channel and just follow Sean. If anyone's watching this thing, just because like this dude this guy is a guru for me on much of what I'm talking about. Is spawned from dialogues I've had with him. So I just want to,
oh wow,
I want to credit you on that, because it's been a huge part of my creative self-realization is stuff that we've done together, and I very much appreciate that.
That's excellent. Wow, yes, my heart has swelled 3 sizes. Thank you. On that topic, here's my final question, and that is collaborators. So obviously, I've had the benefit of being in your process and vice versa numerous times. Mm-hmm. But you are working with 2 guys on this current endeavor, mm-hmm. who I am only familiar with in the fact that I watched the sort of the 3-way interview that you guys did with one another a couple episodes back, which was great. But I was hoping that you could, now that they're not sitting here and can't answer for themselves, I was hoping that you could give us sort of a similar way to where I sort of told you what I thought your creative process was. If you could tell us sort of what your perspective is on their artistic approaches to things.
Right. Well, this is like, I touched on a little bit with G earlier, but it's just like these guys, they are, how can I say it? Like, they are, like, I am a pretty, what's a nice way to put this? Like, I'm a little random and a little hot and high noise when it comes to my creativity. So like, you're stuff. And these 2 guys are not like that. They're very, very, very thoughtful and very, very focused, and which is a tremendous benefit to the way that I work. It augments and multiplies the good aspects of my process, because they, like, my brain will tend to leap around, like one thing leads to another thought and inspires a different thing, whatever, and then like it can be difficult to keep track of like, I have to keep notes while I'm just blathering about something, and that can be, I think, like, I'm happy that's my process. That's the process I enjoy. But it's also like, it's the shotgun's good for close combat, but you can't use that all the time. And these guys are they are two different flavors of very focused, organized artists. And like Wes, his roots are in math and music. He's also a teacher. Is very successful teaching business, essentially, like tutoring and stuff. And has written he actually wrote a great book. I don't have it in front of me, but if you look up Wes Carroll on Amazon.com, you can read his short book on how to effectively study and apply, like just set up a system for yourself so you don't spin your wheels so much. And most of that stuff is applied towards most of it's towards learning really difficult stuff like math, but I found it really useful just as a sort of a manifesto of how to organize your own interior monologue, I guess is the way to look at it. And so when you talk to Wes, Wes has a great sense of structure, just musically, mathematically, has a great sense of structure. And because he is a teacher, he doesn't come at things by saying, I have this idea and I'm going to make you agree with the idea. Like he is insanely curious. And so everything that he comes up with in the form of a question, like, let's explore this, and this is the question I have about this, and let's explore this. And so he'll queue up a topic and sort of like set up a couple of like keynotes, and suddenly I'm like, we're all off to the races talking about stuff that I never had thought about before. And it's stuff that he wanted us to think about for sure, but he doesn't want to just sort of like slap it down. He wants it like, wants these things to be evocative, and just like creates a discussion, because then it's going to, this mirrors what I was saying earlier. It's just like, because then everything, it's not just him waiting for you to realize what he's talking about. It's you are also coming up with stuff that he has not thought of yet, and it's a dialogue instantaneously, and everything just becomes up out of that. And so for someone like me, who is like, at the best of times is like, the oil well and there will be blood. It's like, oh no. Like, it's great when I hit that moment. I'm just like, there's so many things, but if you don't have someone who is skilled at not just recognizing good ideas, but also prompting questions that provoke that, the explosion in the first place, and also knows how to collect all the oil, and also knows what kind of oil to look for, and sort of just like is so he brings so much focus and thoughtfulness to everything that we're doing, that we've ended up with an infinitely richer story than I think we could have communicated before. And even with like my kookiest, like pseudo-philosophical nonsense that I like to talk about, like he has found a way to express that in characters and in language that is super accessible, again, because he's a teacher. And so he likes to find ways to make, like, to bring it down out of the super conceptual and into the literal. And so his whole attack, and like, because we talk every week, and like, I come out of talking with him in particular, just I don't know, both grounded and confident in a way that I don't feel when I'm going into the meeting. Like, I'll just be like, I've got a bag of snakes here, and I need to do something with them, and by the end of it, like, things are much more fully formed. Also, he is in a place in his life where he just wants to try shit, because he's not here to make movies. He's not like, oh my God, that's my big passion. Like, he just thinks this is really fun. Like, we started this as a game, we were role playing this thing. It was just a sci-fi game that yeah, he and G and I were playing. I was running it, and they had a couple of characters, and we did this for like a couple of years, and it was really neat. And we kept on talking about it after the game had finished up, and he was talking like, let me write this up, turn it into a novel, and like this was wild. It's like we're still talking about this because he's thinking about writing it as like as a story or a novel that is sort of concurrently published with what is happening. And I got to watch him, like he just queued up. He has he brought up what's in Adobe, the in InDesign. Like he had an InDesign document or something like this, and so he just laid out as a book. He's just like, you guys keep talking, and I'm just gonna start typing away. And over in the corner of the screen, I just see this like book taking shape while I'm talking with Gareth. And then we were talking for 25 minutes or something like this. And then Wes was like, oh, here, check this out. And there's like 7 or 8 pages of, I'm just reading this thing. Jesus Christ, this is like my 4th draft is doesn't approach this. And he's just like, and so,
that is
like,
fantastic.
Yeah, it's just insane. And so like he's the way his mind works is amazing to me. The way he gets other people's minds to work is amazing to me. And he's in such an experimental mode in his own creative life that now he's like, he was the one who started like, why don't we start doing a fake podcast that takes place in the world of Wisteria? And so that's when we put out Long Live the Queen. It's just like, he was just like, let's just record this right now and just make this up. And I was just like, this is the zone that this is the only zone I ever want to be in. It's just like, this is a really fucking cool time. Let's do this. And let's just like put it on tape and throw it up there. And which is also what, I don't know if people on this channel have looked at any of my Zardoz Speaks videos. Like Zardoz Speaks, it's just pure nonsense. All of it's just total silliness. It started because like I was just zoning out and watching TV, and something about Zardoz, the floating head, whatever, it just sort of occurred to me. And I was like, oh, I should just make him a little video where like that thing talks or something. And then another voice appeared in my head, and it was just like, do it right now. Get up and do it right now. and because I listened to that one voice, I started doing that all the time. And I got a bunch of them up there. And Wes is more or less the embodiment of that voice now. He's just like, stop talking, start doing, figure out how to express yourself in a way that doesn't just tell people things but gets them to think things. And then with G, as I said before, Gareth is he's a very Zen man, and his approach to art is very flow with the river, but also he knows exactly, like at any given moment, it looks from the outside like he is just enacting something that has been in existence that we couldn't see. He just goes, and here is my new book, here's my new adaptation of the Odyssey, for instance. And you're looking like, how did you, I'm like, because I'll look at it and just be like, oh, look at this beautiful book, and just gorgeous, long, complex. He adapted it himself, painted, etc., etc. And at no point did I ever hear him bitch to me about any of it. Like he's just like, oh, dude, I gotta get this published. Oh, Jesus. He's just like, every day, he's like, ding, ding, ding. Off work, hang out, go to sleep, get up, ding, ding, ding. And then lo and behold, he has like, I don't think it's like 7 or 8 graphic novels now, and they're, in schools across America, and it's just insane. Yeah. So like these guys are, they're exactly the right, they're both obviously very old friends of mine and incredible people, and have been very important to me personally, but just in terms of like the getting stuff done, they're exactly the kind of creative force that I am benefiting the most from right now, because I am also in an experimental stage of my life. But it's like there's, when you have when you're growing like roses or whatever it is, and like if you put a trellis up, it's going to fill out and become, if you don't do that, they're just going to fucking go every place. And I'm that. So like working with people that are got their shit together a little bit more has helped me, not just in doing Wisteria, but in literally everything else. Like by doing that stuff with those guys, it's kickstarted me in every other aspect of my life. So it's an incredible it's it's an incredible joy to not only work with them but to be the person that I am now from working with them is very exciting.
That's outstanding. Well, and it is really great and inspiring watching the three of you guys work together and make this thing.
Well, I super appreciate you coming in and asking about this stuff, because we've obviously vibed on this stuff before, just over some excellent what do you call it, not tapas, it's
charcuterie.
Charcuterie. You're the charcuterie master.
It's literally cheese. The only time in my life I've ever brought charcuterie to anything. but yes, incredible. every Tuesday night. Yeah.
So to get that dialogue going again, it's been an incredible pleasure. And I cannot thank you enough, sir. It's been an awesome joy.
Excellent. Well, everybody, thank you for entertaining my need to talk to this man again. So I definitely feel like I am the better for it. I hope that you are as well. Dan, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you, sir. That was absolutely incredible. And again, everyone go. I'm going to say it again in 2 seconds in the wrapper. Go check out this shit. It's amazing, especially if you like vampires. Holy smokes!
It's all vampires. So
it's vampires.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks very much, everybody.
There you go. Hope you got a kick out of all of that. We will be back next week with more Make a Thing. We are actually really kicking off the casting process now. The word is out, and talking to a bunch of folks. So the shooting will begin sooner rather than later, I hope. We will report on how that's going next week on the next episode of Make a Thing. Until then, make stuff.